The opinions expressed on the following program are strictly those of the host and participants and do not reflect the views of Taunton Community Access and Media, Inc., its management, or directors.
Hi, welcome to Charlie Flannery Presents. I'm your host, Charlie Flannery, and today I have a very special surprise guest, Mr. Tommy DeNucci. Tommy, thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me, Charlie. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, it was just by happenstance. Like I was telling you, I had a tough week. And just one thing after another, like Zorba the Greek says, the wife, the kids, the whole catastrophe. And then I had 3 guests scheduled, these 3 12-year-old girls that make movies with smartphones.
New technology.
And they bailed on me at the last minute. So I went down to the Weir Bridge, and I was thinking about jumping off, and who's there but you?
It was weird. I was just, scouting some locations, and I look up in the distance, and I see a troubled man kind of just pacing back and forth and contemplating life, and I went up to him, and I recognized him. I said, Charlie, what are you doing? Life is beautiful, man. You don't need to do this. You got a lot to live for. You get the show, and I said, all right, I'll come on and I'll do the show if you don't jump.
I know, you drive a hard bargain. But thank God you were available, man, because that's the kind of guy you are,
We care about you, Charlie.
Yeah, I know you were involved, you've been involved with filmmaking for some time, right?
Yes.
Now, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Cranston, Rhode Island, not too far down the road. Got into movies because there were classes that were being picked, like when you go into senior year in high school, and this girl that I liked was taking a film production class.
Of course.
And I had no interest in it whatsoever. I wanted to sit near this girl next year. So I said, oh, you do? Oh, yeah, I'm doing the film production too. Oh, that's so weird. Yeah, that's crazy. So I signed up for the class, took it next year. Of course, whatever happened, I don't even know. I don't even remember what this girl was anymore, but sure enough, I really took to the class and loved it. Had a teacher by the name of Coach Jones who got me into it and kind of took me aside and said, he's like, your projects are pretty good. You should take this seriously, because I had no idea what I wanted to do after high school. And then I realized, wait, you can go to school to make movies? There's places to go for that?
Wow.
And sure enough, I got into filmmaking at New England Tech and really just loved it and didn't really stop from there.
Yeah, I've seen some of your stuff, and it's very well done. I mean, I love the cinematography. I think I've seen a small trailer from Army of the Damned. I know that you've been working on a thing called Almost Mercy, and another project we can talk about at the end, very low budget thing that you're doing. But
Sure.
but I know also, just like you displayed so much humanitarianism in getting me off of that bridge. I know one of the projects you've been involved with that's closest to your heart was you had a dear friend.
I did. A friend of mine by the name of Kyle Cirilli, who just passed a year, actually a few days ago was his 1-year anniversary. He wrote a screenplay called Slimebuck, and he had reached out to me one day, and Kyle had been battling muscular dystrophy for his whole adult life, really, and ever since he was a child. So he reached out to me and said, hey, Tommy, I think it's really cool that you make movies. Would you like to come over and check out my script? I said, sure. He's a Cranston guy as well, so I went by his house, and we kind of just hit it off. I thought I'd maybe sit down with him for an hour and just read the thing, and then we ended up hanging out for 4 hours. We're both into all these monster movies and old horror movies and pro wrestling, and we kind of just geeked out and we're kids again for a little while. And we worked together on that, and we got it to the point where it was ready to be shot. And then unfortunately, Kyle passed away, kind of unexpectedly. And then we got together and we made his movie. So we made a short film called Slimebuck, and it'll be coming out soon. And I'm really excited. That means more to me than probably any movie I've made.
That's nice. That's nice. It's nice to hear.
And nobody dies in the movie. There's no murder, there's no death. Most of my movies, there's quite a high kill count. because they've been horror movies. So it was nice to do one that was pain-free, nobody gets hurt, you know?
Well, it almost had to be done that way because the protagonist had died.
Yeah, it was
would have
nice.
been
It was a kid's
disrespectful.
movie. It was
Yeah,
heartfelt.
nice.
It was really sweet. So
What's it called again?
it's called Slime Buck.
Who's in it?
In it is Fred Sullivan, who's a really talented actor, a Providence guy. A bunch of great talented actors like Nick Principe's in the movie. Jonah, little boy, is really talented. Little kid named Jack, who's just like a star in the making. So there's a lot of talented folks in this movie, and you'll be seeing it soon.
Cool. Can't wait. I mean, that speaks volumes about a person. You know what I mean? Everybody comes out claiming to be a humanitarian. You know what I mean? Everyone's for this cause, and I'm a great guy. But an old timer told me one time, watch what they do. Don't listen to what they say. Watch what they do. And watching what you do, you prove yourself.
Oh, thank you, Charlie.
I can't wait to see that, man.
We did it for Kyle, man.
I even gave you my chair for the day.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like this. This is a better seat.
Huh?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm still adjusting over
More
here.
More comfortable over here.
So the big thing you're working on right now is called what?
Almost Mercy is a movie that we shot last year, and we've been working hard to get it out, and we are very, very close to getting it out there. It'll be out there on video on demand, Netflix, worldwide, going out to over 100 million homes.
Wow.
So this thing's going to be big.
Whoa.
We made it here right in our backyard. And the release date for that, you'll be able to get it on video on demand and most of your cable providers, Verizon, all that jazz. It'll be coming out May 29th. So everyone be on the lookout for May 29th, Almost Mercy.
Almost Mercy. Did you bring a little snippet that we can show to the
We do have
today?
a sample, Charlie.
Yeah?
Charlie was nice enough to let me bring a sample of the movie. We're going to play it here.
All right, well, let's see if our technician, Mr. Walt Sabina, can put that up on the monitor. Walt, can you play that clip for us, please?
Mercy Brown was the daughter of a Providence store clerk. It was decided by her doctors, due to her pale skin, along with a sensitivity to sunlight, that the family were being attacked by vampires. Mercy wasn't a vampire, just a sick kid. But that didn't mean there was no such thing as vampires. This is the story of our friendship. This is the way it began. We grew up as friends in this pretty little town that was rotten to its core. I always knew that Jackson was different. He felt things differently from the other kids. If this were any kind of world except the shithole that it is, things might have been different.
I want you to look at yourself in the mirror, and I want you to ask yourself, where does my power live?
I figured out where my power lives!
Tommy,
There's a lot of blood, Charlie.
Tommy, that was nice.
It's a messy, messy adventure.
Uh-huh.
But as you can see, that one's going to be pretty hard-hitting, and I think it's going to shake things up a little bit, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah, who was, I thought I recognized some of those faces.
Yeah, right off the bat, I got to say, Danielle Goulden, she plays the lead, Emily. She is a movie star in the making. This girl is not only talented and not only just really understands the craft of acting, but she's the toughest, not just girl, toughest actor I've ever worked with, man or woman. She had to go through a lot of difficult things. The conditions were rough. We shot on a crazy schedule. We shot that whole movie in 18 days. She was probably on like a few hours sleep every night, rocking and rolling. Never complained, never lacked any intensity in every scene, brought it every single day. She was tremendous. Of course, Jesse Default plays one of the leads in the film. He's a really talented local guy as well. And then we had a lot of big name talent in there too. Like we had Bill Moseley, who a lot of people know from The Devil's Rejects, and we had Kane Hodder, who it was his birthday just yesterday. Happy birthday, Kane!
We give him a shout out.
And if you don't know who he is, he's the man behind the mask in the majority of the Jason movies.
Oh wow!
So he's the dude behind the hockey mask.
Wow!
And he was really cool to work with because I grew up loving, the Jason movies were my thing.
Yeah.
So it was crazy to have the real Jason in my movie.
Wow.
But it's a little different in this movie. He's not the killer. He's the hunted in this one. So we kind of flip things around, and that's why Kane was kind of interested in the script. He doesn't play the boogeyman. He doesn't play the killer.
Right.
He's a gym teacher. So it's kind of a fun role for him.
Nice.
And then, we don't even have enough time on the show to talk about all the great people that made that movie happen, but I'm so proud of it. Chad Verdi, my producing partner, David Gear, Michael Chase, Seth Rosenblit, these guys early on got behind an idea that myself and B. Dolan, my writing partner, had, and they supported it to the fullest, and we were able to make this movie as good as we could have for the budget we did, which the budget was very small. We kind of just put it together, and we did a lot with a little on this movie, and that's why I'm most proud of it. And a lot of my other movies are, they might lie more towards the campy, fun, half horror, half comedy. What is this? It's okay to laugh about this type stuff. This movie's different. This movie's dark. This movie really is going for something with a little more gravity than a lot of my other films. And I think it might actually, touch a couple kids in the way that they learn something about themselves. And
May 29th.
May 29th.
It's going to be available worldwide.
It'll be available everywhere on demand. Yep. And then in July it comes out on Netflix. It'll be available to stream live on Netflix in July. They put them out on video on demand first. That's how it goes.
How do you? Because when I have guys like you on, I like to share with aspiring filmmakers, young kids, the next generation coming up. How do you go about getting something signed up with a Netflix and all that distribution and?
It all comes with building content. Things like Netflix, things like video on demand, and all the other, Sony PlayStation Network and Xbox Network. These places all need content. They need to show something. So in order to show them something,
the only reason I get to do the show here.
You need to make something, basically.
Yeah.
So it's about going out there, and my advice to any young filmmaker would be, get out there, be ambitious, meet the right people, go out for the steak dinners, find people that have some private equity that you can put aside and get some money together, have a fundraiser, get sponsors, do all the old school tricks to raise a little bit of a budget, go out and make a film. And then, it's as simple as calling these places up. You can write to these places. If you have content, you can have them, take a look at what you have. And if it's to the caliber that they're used to putting on their network, you got a shot.
Who was the cinematographer on
Sam Eilertson was the cinematographer on that movie, and he shot my last two films, and he's also a very close friend of mine, and he's just such a talented kid. He's only 25 years old.
Wow.
And he's just so ahead of his game, and I love working with him. We're also great friends, so we spend a ton of time in pre-production, just kind of sitting in my office with literally action figures, because anyone who knows me knows that I've got this odd obsession with action figures and vintage toys and stuff. So we'll sit there and we'll literally take my action figures, break out the iPhone, and make our storyboards with action figures.
Wow.
Figure out, if there's cars in the shot, we'll break out the Matchbox cars and the Hot Wheels, get them lined up. And,
Nice.
We play and we make our shots, and it's a fun way to be creative and have a good time, and it doesn't feel so much like work.
It's amazing the tools that are out there for, like you say, the smartphones, and this next generation of filmmakers that are coming up. I mean, it's just the possibilities are endless. The sky's the limit, and what they're able to do, like you were mentioning doing the storyboards, but I mean, I've seen some stuff 12, 13-year-old kids have done, and it's a 1-minute short film, but Don, the quality is so good, you know?
Yeah, it's really exciting for kids that are coming into the business now. You know, I remember when I first started, which was only about 10 years ago, you know, cameras were thousands and thousands of dollars. And now the camera on my iPhone is better than the camera that I saved up for, you know, the whole summer to get 10 years ago. You got that on everyone's cheap little phone now.
Yeah.
So it's really exciting because any ambitious kid who wants to go out and make a movie could literally shoot a movie on their phone if they had to. There's really no excuse anymore to not make it happen. So I think it's great.
I'm thrilled for the opportunities that the kids today face going forward. You know what I mean? Like you say, it's endless.
Well, that's why I'm really
endless.
glad you decided to not jump, because the future is so bright. You got to wear shades, Charlie. You know, and it's a good thing that you didn't jump earlier.
Well, you know, you're an inspiration. You are. You're an inspiration, and just sitting and listening to you, I'm in awe.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
I'm in awe. I'm glad that I gave you my chair.
Ah, well, you know, you got a nice butt groove worked into it.
It is.
It's comfortable.
You know, I just kind of.
I don't know if we had a second to talk about Blue Line 2, which is a movie that I just did in Connecticut with Tom Sizemore.
Oh,
I
yeah?
don't even think I told you about this.
No.
I'll give you the real brief, quick snippet. This was a big film for me because it was the first time I've ever gotten to play a villain. You know, I've played a lot of bubblegum characters and a lot of high school guys and a lot of, like, you know, regular Joes. I've played a lot of cops, a lot of detectives. This guy was just a vicious, like, total piece of garbage.
I love Tom Sizemore.
Abusive, yeah, and I got to work with Tom, who's a wild man, and he's just a lot of fun to be around.
Yeah.
Worked with Kevin Nash, who pro wrestler, legend, just got inducted to the WWE Hall of Fame a couple weeks ago. The largest human being I've ever met. Charlie, he's 6'10", 300 pounds. He's just like, oh, hello, how are you? So I had to do a scene on an apple box because he was so tall, and it was just kind of odd to act on this. You know, you're standing on a crate. It was kind of fun. But he's a giant, and it's a great movie. It's produced by Richard Switzer. David Gere's involved in that movie as well, and it was shot in Connecticut. And
It's called what? Blue Line?
It's called Blue Line. Yep.
Blue Line.
It's a cool heist
One word
movie.
or 2 words?
I think it's 1 word, but it's a heist movie. I play the low-life gangster that, you know, my wife, who's a housewife, is essentially setting up to rob me.
How long is that film?
It's a feature film.
Feature film?
Yeah.
What, like 90 minutes?
I think it's going to be 90 minutes. something like that.
Nice.
There's car chases, there's guns.
Wow.
I get, you know, into some trouble, which is fun.
Nice,
I
man.
embezzle millions of dollars.
Now, did you act in it?
Yes.
And write as
No,
well?
I was just
or
an actor in this one.
Just an actor.
Yeah, just a, you know, silly actor
Just one of
pretending
those
to be something
cattle,
he's not.
cattle that you must move around the set.
Furniture that talks.
Yes, yes.
That's all they are. I'm just
Yeah.
kidding. Acting is one of the most difficult things to do. It's harder than hitting a 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
It is. And I've never been able to hit.
I couldn't hit a 75-mile-an-hour fastball.
I love baseball.
Me too, but I'm
The only
terrible.
reason I was ever able to play Little League baseball was because my father was the manager of the team.
Yeah, and then.
It was the only
I used to
reason.
draw a lot of walks, Charlie. I could walk a lot.
I would hunch
I
down.
could walk with the best of them.
I think that's why I have arthritis in my neck
Crouch,
today.
just
Because I
from-
would crouch.
yeah.
That strike
Well, you gotta
zone
lower
is
your
about
strike
this
zone.
big. Yeah.
But everyone was like, good eye, Tommy. That's
eye.
what you say to the bad kids on the baseball team, by
Yeah,
the way.
yeah.
You say good eye because, you know, that's really the only thing you...
Or the kid that always grounds out. Nice hustle.
Yeah, nice hustle.
Nice hustle.
Way to put some contact on there.
Yeah.
Way to make contact, bud.
But I did get to play baseball.
Hey, it's fun.
You know what I
Everybody,
mean?
every young man or young girl should get out there and play baseball, softball, whatever it is.
Well,
We endorse baseball. Charlie Flannery and I endorse baseball.
and I think every kid. You know what the worst part is. Everything today is so structured. You know, there's always adults involved. I grew up in Taunton in a section called the Brickyard.
Yeah, kids just don't go out and play ball unorganized anymore. No,
Right.
it's got to be
Directly
like...
across the street from me was a baseball field. It was like that movie Sandlot.
That's good old-fashioned American fun.
You
right
got
there.
up in the morning, you grabbed your glove. One kid might have a bat, you know, there were nails in it. It was taped up.
Right.
Every baseball had black tape.
There were no
electrical
bases.
tape, you know, no bases.
Right.
You know, and then the younger kids would play in the morning. Afternoon was for the older kids, and then, you know, at the evening it was like the 16, 17-year-old
And you
guys
hustle,
who could drink.
There's hustling
they could
and
play.
prostitution going on in the evening hours.
Well, that was
At
much
the field.
later. That was much later. That's why they ended up closing it down.
Right.
But it was great growing up as a kid, and today kids don't have that. I mean, you know, it's like there's got to be coaches. The parents come. They think junior's going to get that scholarship.
There's summer leagues and you know sports specific training and all that crap.
Yeah, and I don't think that's a good thing for kids. I mean, it's better than nothing.
Go outside, run around, scrape your knee.
Exactly.
Steal something.
Go run with scissors or something.
Yeah.
You're going to poke your eye
Get
out.
into some trouble, kids. This
Yeah.
summer, Charlie and I say you should go out and get into some trouble.
So, you know, you've had all these other movies that sounds phenomenal, but I know I've been saving the last one to talk about for your one you've just wrapped up. You're all wrapped up and shooting it.
Yeah, you're talking about
I'm talking about
Bleed for This.
Bleed for This.
Yeah, Bleed for This, that was a really special movie to me. I have a very small part in it, but it was just great to be on set and to be able to kind of take it all in, and just so many talented people on that set, from people behind the camera to people in front of the camera. I mean, you know, you got director Ben Younger, who's, you know, one of the best. When I was a kid, I used to watch Boiler Room, and that was really one of the movies that made me say, wow, like this is like gritty, hard-hitting, you know, man talk type stuff. I really loved it, and to be able to be even on set with him was really special to me. Bruce Cohen, producer of American Beauty and Silver Lining Playbook. And then, of course, you get Chad Verdi, who's always been a mentor of mine, and he's the guy who put this all together.
Wow.
And it was really his dream from the very beginning to get this Vinny Paz movie off the ground. And then you look on the other side of it, you've got the actors. It's, you know, Katie Seagal, and it's Miles Teller, who this guy's, you know, a movie star, as much of a movie star as they can come. And also, aside from having all those accolades, just such a nice guy, like a really nice person to be around, and funny and quick, and he gets it. And, you know, we had just so many talented people on this staff that you could just watch, and the cast was unbelievable, and I learned a lot just soaking it up.
Some guy, isn't Martin Scorsese involved with this?
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, I hate to name drop, but yeah, it was executive
If you're going to
produced
drop a name,
by Martin Scorsese. I'm almost
good-
like, it's almost like too humbling to like you don't even want to say his name, because it's like a higher power in filmmaking.
We
Martin
should
Scorsese.
genuflect first.
But yeah, it's like you know, any person who's ever watched a movie or ever tried to make films, I should say, has to look up to Martin Scorsese. I mean, like you can't be in this business without realizing what that man has done, and to just even have any connection with something he's involved with is pretty amazing.
Do you know that he filmed part of Shutter Island in Taunton, where we are right now?
No kidding.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Shutter Island's awesome.
They created this whole set that was the flashback to World War II. In fact, a lot of
Well, a lot of the architecture probably hasn't changed too much, you know. I noticed driving in, it's a pretty old school looking place.
Yep. Yeah, it's an old town. It's an old town, founded in 1639. And they had the prison here where Lizzie Borden was kept. It's got a lot of history.
A lot of history in town.
You know? And
Yeah.
right now we got about 60,000 people. I don't know how many viewers we have. I know my mother watches. I know my mother watches, and when I told her I had Tommy DeNucci coming on today, see, we used to have a governor in Massachusetts. His name was Salucci.
Oh, yeah.
So my mother said, "Oh, I wonder if
He's
that's
related
his
to the
son."
governor?
No, I wonder if that's his son. I liked him. He was a nice man. The guy passed away, you know. So Ma's watching, you know.
Well, hello,
you know.
Mrs. Flannery.
She said, "Ask him." She's an old Italian woman. Well, I don't mean old. She's, you know, she's 90. She's a young 90.
God bless her.
You know.
God bless her.
But she's she's an Italian mother, and she wields a mean spoon.
Oh, well, her and my mom would get along then.
Yeah.
They could hang out and make pasta and meatballs together or something.
Oh yeah, a meatball bake-off, you know.
Oh, man, yeah, like Iron Chef. We'll put one on one side of the kitchen.
Yeah,
and,
you know.
We'll have some judges.
She said, ask him if he's full-blooded
I
Italian.
am.
Oh,
Yeah, 100%.
Ma, you see
Extra.
that? You know.
Is she available?
Huh? You want her?
Is she available?
You could take. Believe me, she's available.
Is she available? All right, cool.
We can get her married off. So I didn't mean to interrupt the thing about.
We'll talk about
Bleed
that later.
For this, but
no, yeah, but Bleed
so-
for This was just an amazing, amazing experience. That movie's going to come out next year, and I think it's going to do a lot as far as Oscar buzz and everything else. The sky's the limit. I can't wait to see it. You know, it's just Aaron Eckhart is unbelievable in that film, and it's just a high level, top-notch thing, and it's bigger than anything I've ever been a part of. So, again, very small role in that movie, and just happy to kind of take it all in.
Now, Rhode Island has offered a film tax credit, right?
Yes. Yeah, Rhode Island has been really great about that. And Stephen Feinberg, our film commissioner, he's always out there kind of hitting the pavement and cranking to get movies here, get eyes on Rhode Island. And it's very beneficial to shoot here in Rhode Island. And
Now, did that play a factor in
absolutely. It
being
plays
able
a
to-
factor in everything that we do here in Rhode Island. I mean, the truth is, if it weren't for those tax credits, the majority of these movies wouldn't be happening here in Rhode Island.
Yeah, and we're going through, right now, there's a budgetary crisis
Yes.
in Massachusetts, and
It's sad. It's tough because I know a lot of people, a lot of my friends that make a living doing this. Going show to show. Not the glamorous stuff. I'm not talking about the actors and the movie stars, the directors, writers. I'm talking about people who are hardworking art department people, set dressers, things like that. It's sad because those people might have to relocate, and that's too bad.
the problem in Massachusetts is, well, they're faced with over $1 billion budget deficit, but they're using figures provided by the Department of Revenue, and they use just a cost per job, which is totally distorted.
Right,
know?
because you don't get to see the trickle down. And if
Exactly.
you make a film, you see where it goes. Because you damn well got your eyes on the checkbook, and you can see where the money's going. Especially if you produce, you're mindful of wherever dollar's going, and you see, where do you think we get our food? Where do you think we get props and things like that? Where do you think we stay in hotels? We stay in these cities. We're in Rhode Island, or those folks in Massachusetts are in Massachusetts. They're going to the laundromat, and they're spending money at the diners, and it all trickles down to the community.
I can't remember what year it was for, the most recent figures that I had seen, but in this one particular year in Massachusetts, they granted something like $37.5 million in film tax credits, and something approximating $375 million was spent back inside the Commonwealth, and it was almost it was at least a 10 to 1
back.
total return on investment. And if you look at it that way, it's really something that I hope people can get behind and support, because it ends up creating a lot of jobs, and it really is a stimulus for the economy. I know poor Rhode Island, they get burnt on that Kurt Schilling thing, so they're probably a little gun shy. They put all their eggs in one basket, and
Yeah,
so
that was a tough situation.
it was a tough situation.
I don't know a whole lot about it, so I'm not going to weigh in on it.
I don't
but,
know much about it either.
It's just too bad that you hate to see anyone
And he was a nice guy,
be
too.
unsuccessful.
Yeah, he was a nice guy.
Hey, he still won us that first ring back
that
in
bloody
04 with that
sock,
bloody
man.
sock.
That
damn it.
bloody sock, man. That's.
So Kurt, you're cool in my book.
We're gonna have to do the Kurt Schilling movie one of these days. Hey, Tommy, I can't believe
This was fun.
You've saved my life.
I'm so glad you made it
Saved my
through.
life. I honored you with my chair.
It's happy to be here.
Listen, we'd like to thank you for tuning in today. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. And if you have an idea for a show, send an email into charlieflannery@verizon.net. And in the subject line, put "Be a Guest." Give me a little bit of a breakdown of something you'd like to talk about, or maybe a little skit you'd like to work on, or a mini play. And we may have you here one day on Charlie Flannery Presents. Until then, stay safe.